Robyn Brown's children have always stood out from the rest of the Brown family. In the early seasons of Sister Wives, it seemed as though the children from all the wives shared a relatively harmonious bond. However, over time, the dynamics of the family changed, and cracks started to show. Aurora and Brianna Brown, now adults, have expressed that they felt distance from the other children, believing they were never fully accepted into the family. Dayton Brown, who hasn't appeared on the show for years, has kept a low profile, leaving fans to speculate about his current feelings regarding the family dynamics. Many Sister Wives fans believe there are clear reasons behind why Robyn's children never fully integrated with the rest of the Brown kids. Distinct personalities. Robyn's children stand apart. Although Robyn's children spent a significant part of their childhood within the Brown family household, their upbringing and personalities remained distinctly different. As they grew older, it became increasingly apparent that they were set apart in several key ways. A Sister Wives viewer shared their observations on Reddit, saying, "The kids said it best. I'm on a rewatch, and the kids were discussing how they've tried to blend and adapt to Robyn and her kids, but they haven't done the same. What effort was done on Robyn and her tender's part to blend into the family? What traditions and values did they bend to fit into the existing Brown family? Was the integration doomed from the start?" Many Reddit users agreed that the 13 original Brown children made efforts to welcome Robyn's kids into the fold. Brianna and Aurora were especially close to Gwendolyn, Isabel, and several of the younger girls early on. However, fans noted that the cultural differences between the families were significant, and the integration process faced inevitable challenges. The original 13 children were boisterous, enjoyed roughhousing, and often teased each other in a playful manner. Robyn's children, on the other hand, had a more sheltered upbringing, which made it difficult for them to engage with the more extroverted dynamics of the larger family. One Redditor recalled a moment where one of the boys commented, "Robyn's kids cry a lot," which many saw as a reflection of the underlying tension. The challenges of blending families on one's own terms. A number of viewers speculated that Robyn's attempt to merge her children into the family was always meant to happen on her terms, rather than embracing the established family culture. As one commenter pointed out, Robyn wanted her children to be accepted into the family, but she wasn't as willing to adapt her family's behavior to fit the existing dynamics. Another Redditor elaborated, saying Robyn came in expecting to change everyone to her preferences, not assimilate to theirs. When Kody said she sat the kids down and told them to integrate and respect everyone, they did, but she didn't like the outcome. In the end, it appeared that Robyn was more interested in blending her children into the family while keeping some boundaries. There was little effort made to welcome the original 13 into her household, aside from occasional instances where they were called upon for babysitting. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Sister Wives right now. Come back here often for all Sister Wives spoilers, news, and updates. When viewers tuned into Sister Wives over the years, they witnessed the dynamics of a polygamous family. Kody Brown, the patriarch, and his wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn, have provided an unprecedented look into the complexities of their lifestyle. While much of the show focuses on their adult relationships, it also delves into the lives of their children. Over time, fans have noticed tension between Robyn's children and the children from Kody's other marriages. But what is the real reason behind the lack of harmony between Robyn's kids and the OG kids? To understand this, we must explore a combination of emotional, social, and familial factors. 1. Blended family dynamics and different upbringings. One of the fundamental reasons Robyn's kids didn't immediately get along with the OG kids is the difference in their upbringing. Robyn came into the family with children from her previous marriage, a situation that created an instant complexity. Her kids, primarily from her previous marriage to David Jessup, were used to a very different family structure. When Robyn married Kody, she brought her children into a family where Kody already had 3 other wives and a brood of children who had grown up together under a somewhat different set of expectations and routines. Kody's children from his first 3 marriages, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, had grown up in a tightly knit family with established relationships and dynamics. Robyn's children, by contrast, entered a family that was already well-defined, and they were not accustomed to the same kinds of rules and routines. Blending 2 families with distinct expectations, cultures, and histories can be challenging. This wasn't just a case of new siblings meeting each other. It was a clash of different environments and lived experiences. 2. The impact of Robyn's position in the family. Robyn's position in the family created additional tension. She was Kody's 4th wife, but she was also the one who Kody appeared to prioritize more as time went on, especially after he divorced Mary. Robyn's kids might have felt that they were receiving special treatment from Kody, which likely irritated the OG kids. For children, the feeling of being favored can breed resentment. From the perspective of Kody's other children, Robyn's children might have seemed to be given more attention and care. Kody's love for Robyn appeared to grow over time, which further deepened the divide. For children already dealing with the complexity of polygamous family life, feeling like they were secondary to a new set of kids can be a difficult adjustment. The disparity in how Kody interacted with his wives and their children played a major role in the rift between the 2 groups. When the OG kids saw Kody spending more time with Robyn and her kids, their feelings of being sidelined or neglected grew stronger. This created underlying tension that was difficult to navigate, especially for teenagers who are already struggling with identity and relationships. 3. Jealousy and emotional displacement. For children of polygamous families, jealousy is often a hidden force in their relationships. As children enter adolescence, their emotional needs become more pronounced, and many of the OG kids struggled with the reality of having to share their father with so many others. This feeling is heightened when a new wife and her children are introduced, especially when the new wife seems to receive Kody's attention in a way that some of the other wives and children do not. In the case of Robyn's kids, they were still adjusting to a new life, a new father figure, Kody, and a new set of siblings. For some of the OG kids, the new dynamic with Robyn's family may have felt like an intrusion, creating an emotional barrier between the 2 groups. The emotional displacement that occurred due to the shift in attention toward Robyn's family had a ripple effect throughout the household. Jealousy was not just limited to the children, but may have extended to the adults as well. The power dynamics in polygamous families can often leave children feeling like pawns in the adult struggles. For Robyn's kids, it was a matter of finding their place in a family that had already been established, while for the OG kids, it was about dealing with the emotional displacement that came from their father's growing attention to Robyn and her children. 4. The role of parenting styles. The differences in parenting styles between the various wives and Kody also played a major role in the conflicts between the kids. Kody himself is often criticized for being somewhat disengaged with his children, preferring to focus on his romantic relationships. However, each wife had her own unique approach to raising their children, and these varying parenting styles sometimes created tension. Robyn, as the newest wife, might have had a different approach to discipline, family activities, and emotional connection than the OG wives. She may have wanted to bond with her kids by creating a more unified front or pushing for more interaction among all the children. This could have felt alienating for the older children, who were used to the different dynamics and rules of their original homes. For the OG kids, they had learned to navigate the relationships with their siblings from a different set of expectations and family norms. Robyn's children might have come into the family with a different attitude toward their new siblings, creating friction. For instance, if Robyn's kids were accustomed to being the center of attention in their own home, the transition to a much larger family could have been emotionally overwhelming. 5. Blending a large family. The challenge of equality. A major challenge for any blended family is ensuring that each child feels equally loved and cared for. In Sister Wives, the show continually highlights how difficult it can be for Kody to divide his time between his wives and children. As the family grew, there was an increasing pressure to make sure every child felt equally valued. For Robyn's children, who were coming into a family where the older kids already had established bonds, the feeling of being outsiders was likely very real. For Kody's older kids, they might have felt that Robyn's children were intruding on their family and that Kody was neglecting them in favor of Robyn's children. This feeling could have been exacerbated by the fact that Kody often seemed to prioritize Robyn's needs and her children's integration into the family. Children, especially those with an already established family history, are sensitive to such shifts. The natural inclination to protect one's emotional space could have fueled much of the friction between the two groups. 6. The role of media and public scrutiny. The cameras and public nature of the show certainly didn't help the family dynamics. With the constant presence of media, each of the children likely felt the added pressure of having their lives scrutinized by millions of viewers. The complex relationships and emotions that arise in a polygamous family were often put under a magnifying glass. Any tension or conflict between the children was likely amplified by the media, making it even harder for the kids to navigate their relationships naturally. Additionally, being on a reality TV show often puts families in awkward positions where they feel compelled to perform or react in ways that they may not have otherwise. This pressure could have compounded the tension between Robyn's kids and the OG kids, especially as they struggled with their own feelings of self-identity and belonging. 7. The future. Growing pains and evolving relationships. Over time, as the children grew older and began to find their own identities and ways of coping with the unique family structure, many of these tensions began to ease. Relationships between siblings, especially those who have had the opportunity to grow and mature, tend to evolve. The OG kids and Robyn's kids, once at odds, may eventually come to a more mutual understanding of each other. Despite the early struggles, some of the siblings have started to show signs of reconciliation. The emotional healing that occurs with time, maturity, and communication often leads to stronger bonds. Family is a complex, ever-evolving entity, and as the Brown children transition into adulthood, the relationships between Robyn's kids and the OG kids could become less strained. Conclusion. The rift between Robyn's kids and the OG kids on Sister Wives is multifaceted, driven by differences in upbringing, jealousy, the evolving role of Robyn in the family, varying parenting styles, and the challenge of blending a large, diverse family under one roof. These complex dynamics were only heightened by the pressures of public scrutiny and the deep emotional stakes involved. However, as with many blended families, time and maturity may ease some of the tensions. The journey of blending families, particularly one as large and complicated as the Brown family, is not easy. But it is clear that despite the challenges, the children of Sister Wives are learning how to navigate the evolving relationships within their unique family structure.